What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Penny. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the brand new 2024 Volvo XC40, courtesy of Younger Volvo in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because there is a new vapor gray color for 2024, so I wanted to mention that to start. IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, so it has the very highest safety rating from IIHS as well, and this is luxury from Sweden, which is quite rare here, at least in the US as well. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there will be a few different trim levels for the 2024 XC40. First one being the Core, starting at $40,100. Then there is the Plus, which is the one we have today, starting at $45,000 even. And lastly, the Ultimate for $48,800. And so if you're asking yourself, wow, that seems like a substantial price increase from the 2023 model year, that's due in part because all-wheel drive now comes standard across the board for the XC40, whereas last year in the 2023 model year, front-wheel drive came standard and you traditionally added $2,000 to any of the prices to add the all-wheel drive, but it's now standard. I'm just saying. But when it comes to the power plant of the XC40, there is no longer two power plants, but rather just one. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 247 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, sent to all four wheels through an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 6.1 seconds. Top speed, in case you were interested, 112 miles per hour, with MPG numbers then coming in at 23 in the city, 30 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in our XC40, wanted to mention to you guys, there's a couple different drive modes. They're all located within the 9-inch infotainment screen, which we'll be covering a little bit later in the video, but there's two drive modes essentially, are an off-road drive mode, and then there's a steering sensitivity mode where you can choose to have a much heavier weight to the steering, which is what I currently have it on. And I will say I do like it, but we'll get into that in a second. But those essentially are the two driving modes. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the new 2024 XC40 here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. And here we go. That's not bad, dude. That's not bad. I left that Ford Ranger in the dust, but that is plenty of an acceleration. Honestly, you're not going to have any issues merging onto the highway. Now, it's not the quickest SUV in the world, but it is dang quick. 0 to 60 in 6.1 is 100% respectable, especially in an SUV. But yeah, that's plenty of an acceleration. It's honestly probably the perfect power plant for this particular SUV, so no issues there. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front, you will find 13.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.9-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 6E0 stopping distance goes, it's going to come in at a respectable 120 feet. As far as braking feel goes, it feels pretty much like it did last year when I reviewed this one, and I specifically remember it because the braking feel is really unlike any other vehicles out there right now that I have tested, at least. And what I mean by that is it feels like you really have to stop on the brakes to get it to stop. It's kind of reminiscent to me of like a Chevy Suburban or a Chevy Tahoe. And I will say that number itself, 120 feet from 60, is great, but the braking feel is just different, and maybe it's something I would get used to, but I don't particularly care for it, just because you really have to step on it to get it to stop it. Anyways, then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension. As far as ride quality goes, it's been 100% perfectly fine on my short test drive here today. Now, I will say Hagerstown's got some pretty darn smooth roads, but still, ride quality's been 100% on point. As far as cabin noise goes, that's excellent. I'm going 50 miles per hour right now, so I'll let you guys be the judge. Got a road mic here picking up any exterior noise here, so really no road noise whatsoever. And really the cabin noise overall is very much on the luxury side of things in here, so a very serene cabin. I like that. And again, as far as steering feel goes, it's completely adjustable dependent upon whether or not you turn on that steering sensitivity mode, which gives it a much heavier feel. If you don't turn that on, then you have a much more loosey-goosey feel, much more traditional SUV feel. But if you like the heavier weighted steering feel, like it's more of a performance SUV kind of steering feel, that's available for you as well. And that's the one that I got it in, because that's what I prefer. But then touching on visibility, I can see 100% perfect perfectly fine out the back. Those second row headrests are definitely out pretty far, so no issues there whatsoever. Rain sensing windshield wipers though do also come standard across the board. So when it comes to forward visibility, whenever the XC40 detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's gonna automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So it's kind of like automatic headlights, just one less thing you gotta worry about there. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Volvo XC40. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Volvo XC40 finished in onyx black, in case you were curious about our exterior color name. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the XC40 is actually built and assembled. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter Y, indicating that the new 2024 XC40 is still built and assembled in Sweden, as I alluded to at the very beginning of the video. But as far as colors go, there is one new color for 2024 that is called Vapor Gray. That is kind of almost a new color across the board for Volvo this year. But let's go ahead and start up front. You're either going to get a bright or a dark theme. We actually do have the bright. What that actually means is you're either going to get chrome or gloss black surrounds, depending upon whether you go with the bright or the dark theme. And that's going to continue around the entire exterior of the XC40. So I did want to mention that. But to the sides, LED headlights with LED Thor's hammer daytime running lights do come standard. Do get the automatic feature as well, along with automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams. So very convenient feature there. Did want to mention an option though called Pixel LED headlights. They go for $350. They essentially are 84 pixels of lighting, and they actually adjust the angle of the low beams if it senses a car coming in the opposite direction. So that is kind of a cool feature there. I like that. But LED fog lights are going to come on the plus and ultimate trim levels, and that is why you guys are looking at those down below those headlights there. And at the very bottom, you're either going to find aluminum or a gloss black front lip. And I mean at the very bottom, you guys can see that at the very bottom part of that front lip is going to be kind of a bright theme, since we do have the bright theme on this XC40. So it's going to be gloss black if you go with the dark theme. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of the XC40. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so but now since we are around to the side of this one, you're either going to find aluminum or gloss black roof rails. Same thing with the bright or dark theme. Chrome or gloss black belt line molding. You guys see that we got the chrome here with us here today. Rear privacy glass is going to come standard. Then take a look at the side mirrors. They are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They are heated. They are gloss black, and they come with LED integrated turn signals then as well, which is pretty cool. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. 18-inch double 5-spoke diamond cut alloys for the Core and the Plus. And then 19-inch diamond cut 5-spoke alloys for the Ultimate. And there are actually 20-inch designs available as well if you wanted to go that route. But overall, very good looking side profile here. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, and so we're now crawling into this tall grass for you guys all the way to the top. Body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper, of course. Got the Volvo lettering spelled out horizontally. That always looks very good, very classy. To the sides there, LED taillights do come standard across the board. I like that. Just below it all, you're either going to get yet again either a aluminum rear bumper trim there or gloss black rear bumper trim. And just below it all, believe it or not, there are dual exhaust outlets. They are tucked away, of course, but having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So but now since we are around to the back of the XC40, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it is going to be a power tailgate that does come standard for all trim levels across the board. Gotta love that. There's a button on the key fob. There, of course, is a button on the tailgate itself then as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 20.7 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down, bumping that up to 57.5 cubic feet. There is a 12-volt power outlet back there. There are grocery bag hooks as well. There, of course, is some cargo lighting. There's a cargo cover. There's a nice first aid kit that comes with the XC40 as well. And then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, this is pretty cool. There's actually some in-floor storage, of course. Not a ton, but it is there, so I like that. But but that actual floor itself can actually kind of latch into place or lock into place. And then you have an additional 3 grocery bag hooks if you needed those as well. So that's something that I haven't seen on other vehicles out there. So that was pretty cool to see. But anyways, then making our way up to the rear legroom, that comes in at 36.1 inches. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. You got some rear ventilation back there. There are dual phone charging ports as well. That is pretty cool. And there is an optional climate package. I wanted to mention that because that actually gives you heated rear seats, which we actually do have with us here today, which is always nice to see. Spoil the rear passengers a little bit. But then make our way up to the front seats. Power adjustable driver's seat with power lumbar coming standard. Memory settings for 2 drivers is going to come standard as well. Leather seating coming standard. There is a suede leather combination that's going to come standard on the ultimate trim level. Heated front seats though is going to come standard up front. And of course, I can't forget to mention the flag of Sweden located on the passenger seat, which perhaps is my favorite part. But ultimately, seat comfort was perfectly fine for me, so definitely no issues there. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped and it is heated with the climate package, so that is available for you. But 10 and 2 grips are plenty fine on this thing. Then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Volvo logo on the one side. All of your buttons though are located on the side of the key. You got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate. And by the way, key 1 is going to be black, key 2 is going to be orange. So fun fact about Volvo, that is how they do it. But it is all ultimately keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that black engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so once started up, there is a full digital gauge cluster that does come standard. And if I were to have turned on the map for this vehicle, which I have not yet, there would be a navigation kind of map located in the middle of it all. But like I said, I haven't turned that on quite yet. But speedometer is on the left, tachometer is on your right. And of course, it does tell you your outside temperature and how many miles you have left until you hit empty as well. But very nice looking digital gauge cluster up there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality, because there is a lot going on when it comes to interior quality here. I like it. But panoramic moonroof is going to come with a plus in the ultimate trim levels if you wanted that. LED interior lighting, and the way you turn on and off that is you simply just touch the interior lighting up top here. It's not a button or anything. It's just simply like a touch screen kind of thing. It's pretty cool. There's going to be a crystal gear selector by Orforce coming with the plus trim level that we have today. So I get to show that to you guys. That's pretty cool. Universal garage door opener is going to come standard. That's for up to 3 different garage doors located just underneath the frameless rear view mirror there. There are going to be aluminum interior accents for the ultimate, but then driftwood trim for the plus. So that is what I'm showing you guys right now, and it's kind of like a matte driftwood trim, and it's texturized as well, so I liked that. Just in front of the shifter, you do have a wireless phone charger with a little bit of storage there. You do have a couple cup holders to the right of the shifter, electromechanical parking brake. Within the center armrest, there's a decent amount of storage, but just in front of that center armrest, you actually have a removable trash bin. I love that. I think that should be a necessity on all SUVs, because you may have kids in the back and they might be needing that trash bin more than you think. So I love that it's removable. You can just dump it out and put it back in there. But also another cool feature about the glove box here is you actually have a little grocery bag hook that folds out of the glove box. There's actually a cool little pen holder within there as well, so you can keep your pens and pencils. So that is another cool little Easter egg kind of feature found in the XC40 that I always like to mention. But anyways, let's go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. You got a vertical 9-inch color touchscreen display, Bluetooth and audio streaming, of course, but also Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Can adjust your climate control settings up there as well, and of course, your radio information. And so when it comes to the sound systems, you're going to find an 8-speaker sound system with 250 watts. That is what is going to come standard, but there is an optional 13-speaker Harman Kardon sound system available, and that is not the one that we have today. We do have the 8-speaker sound system with us here, so what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. All right, bass was okay, clarity was okay, and it didn't get all that loud. I nearly had it turned all the way up, and typically if I turn a sound system all the way up, I'm not going to be able to hear afterwards, but that wasn't all that loud of a sound system. The clarity was just okay, and the bass was decent. I will put it that way. So if you like music, probably go with the Harman Kardon sound system. But anyways, last thing I want to mention to you guys on the XC40 is when you do put this thing in reverse, you will find a rear view camera, a very, very high definition rear view camera at that as well. Coming standard across the board, there's a 360-degree monitor as well. So that is what I'm showing you guys right now. And that beeping is because I'm too close to the tall grass behind me here. But anyways, as always, that is going to lead us into safety. And so to start, the 2024 XC40 is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS, so that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard, driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system. That's all boring, but also coming standard, a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, rear parking sensor so you don't run into anything, lane keep assist, lane departure warning, road sign recognition giving you the speed limit of any given road, and if you were to go with the Plus or the Ultimate, you will also get front and rear parking sensors as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the XC40, brilliant safety in this thing. That is really what Volvo has always been known for, and they 100% still are today. They do a wonderful job with that. It doesn't get any better than that. But the other thing is, I think my favorite part of the XC40 is all the little Easter eggs and added utility that the XC40 comes with, which you don't usually expect in other SUVs. Like, for example, you got the flag of Sweden. I love that. I love the grocery bag hook in the glove box. They didn't need to do that, but it's there. There's also that removable trash can, which is super helpful, especially in an SUV. And there's those grocery bag hooks in the cargo area if you were to fold up the cargo floor as well. All of these things you don't typically find on other SUVs, so I loved all of that. Crystal shifter is great as well, another thing you don't typically see on other SUVs. As far as room for improvement goes, I would have loved to have seen some ambient lighting, multicolor ambient lighting. I think would definitely make this thing that much better, and of course a better braking feel as well. Now, like I said, the 60-0 stopping distance is perfectly fine. I just can't get used to this braking feel still, and maybe it's just me. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the new 2024 XC40 in the comment section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.